is the top female talent on their roster.
She's the man.
She is the man.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see her tweet after Asuka won the Battle Royal to make it a triple threat? She's like, I have two competitors at TLC. One of them earned their way in, and the other one, blah, 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 father, blah, blah, woo, blah, blah. I was like, yep, I love her. Love her. So, I had to bring that up. One other thing we got to bring up here. Although Ellsworth has basically been cleared of no wrongdoing and may actually be countersuing for getting his name besmirched, and this would be a good reason why, Impact has erased all of his appearances for the upcoming TV spots that they've already taped. So, I get why they're doing it for damage control, but if he has been proven innocent, then yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where he said that his lawyer, or him and his lawyers have been able to prove that the account that all of this stuff came from was a fraudulent account made to end his career.
Basically.
So, whether or not, anything comes of this, who knows? But it sounds like he's categorically denying everything, and he's got proof to prove it. So we'll see.
Well, I wish him the best.
But I do get why Impact did what they did. And Petey Williams basically said, we're disappointed he got himself into that situation. But then again, when you really think about it, if somebody makes a fake account to end your career, it's not really his wrongdoing. It's some freaking psychopaths. So I do kind of hope that if they do come out and find, that this person was fraudulently doing all this crap, that, there's some serious penalties held against them.
Well, which is funny because people are like, I don't understand why WWE didn't hire Enzo back when he was proven innocent. Because they fucking hated him.
Well, WWE, yeah, I mean, there was more reasons for him being fired than...
Right.
And
it was the convenient excuse to finally pull the trigger.
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly. I want to thank you guys for your continued patronage. We do have some Patreon shout-outs to get to here and some segments to get to, but before we do, I believe Dan has the answer to our trivia question.
Yeah, so the trivia question was, Stone Cold Steve Austin has won 3 Royal Rumbles, but who was the first person he ever eliminated in a Royal Rumble?
Give my answer?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Himself.
And Chris' answer?
Friggin' Bob Holly.
The answer is Bob Holly.
Yep.
I don't think so.
1996 Royal Rumble, where the ringmaster was the 26th to the 24th entry.
Yeah,
something like that. And
he eliminated himself.
The 6th elimination. That match got, that ring got full. That Rumble. No, I saw when I was looking up to be sure that was the stat. I saw an article about Austin talking about how he got eliminated one time because everyone was so baby oiled, and he slipped and fell.
See, I remember
95 is his first Rumble, and he eliminated Bob Holly. So if he eliminated himself, he did it after that.
He said, where is it? Because I saw it. Stone Cold Steve Austin revealed he made a crucial mistake in the 96 Royal Rumble that meant the finale had to be changed while the match was in progress.
Hey, remember when Alex Riley fucked up?
Okay.
No, you have to be more specific.
Never mind. By the way, he's trying to make a comeback. Just so you know.
Why?
And he is. Because he's A-Rye. One of the worst wrestlers I've ever experienced.
It was also the 96 Rumble that he basically said that he was supposed to be the 4th to last guy, and
everyone was so baby oiled, and he slipped.
Yeah.
I'm just a huge fan of the fact that Bob Holly has that stat. And I don't know if that stat's been surpassed, but I remember reading it. It was before I attended the Rumble, so that would have been 2015. So it's a couple of years ago. But I just laughed hysterically when the stat was like, the longest person to ever compete in a Royal Rumble and eliminate nobody was Bob Holly in 96, until he was last eliminated by Steve Austin. And I'm like, yep.
And that was only the 6th elimination in that Rumble. So, yeah.
Yeah. That was a crazy filled ring Rumble.
That one filled up.
My other favorite was the stat of who does. All right, well, we'll make this trivia question. No, you know what? We'll do it right now. Do either of you know who the shortest competitor in a Royal Rumble was who actually eliminated somebody?
So it's gonna be somebody that lasted like 30 seconds, but they got somebody.
It was basically like 15 seconds.
My guess would say that it's Mrs. Edge.
No.
Drew Carey lasted longer than 15 seconds.
No. I will give you a hint. This person is currently on the active roster on 205 Live.
Mike Kanellis?
No.
Who's been around for a bit? That's on 205.
It was the 2009 Rumble.
Who's been around for a while?
Oh, Kendrick.
Yes. The Brian Kendrick. He got into the ring, ran over and pushed Kofi Kingston out, and then he did his little Brian Kendrick dance, and Triple H went to eliminate him. And he fell into the ropes, and as Triple H is setting him up for the next run, you hear him audibly say to the camera, "I know I fucked up," as Triple H throws him out. Yeah, he basically had a 15-second run, which would have been even shorter had he not fucked up.
I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, like, who the fucking 205 that's been around for that many years?
Who the hell? Oh, yeah, Kendrick. Yeah, because...
Yeah, Kendrick's been around.
He has, and he's friggin' awesome.
And he's arguably still doing some of the greatest work in his careers.
Indeed. So, thank you, patron Andrew Whitaker. Thank you, Glenn, of course.
Yep.
Thank you, Jeff Trelowitz, and thank you, Jay Winger. Those are our 4 patrons. They get a shout-out every week. And, of course, Jay Winger has a segment he gives us as part of his donation plan. It's called the Positivity Zone. I'm going to say something positive, and I got something that's fun to talk about. It's a Disney movie called Wreck-It Ralph. The sequel just came out, Ralph Breaks the Internet, which I saw last weekend. It is... I'm not going to say it's better than the first one, because the first one is one of my favorite Disney movies ever, and probably the best modern Disney movie out there. You can make case arguments for a lot of the good stuff Disney's released in the past couple of years, but Ralph Breaks the Internet was just really, really good. But Wreck-It Ralph's a tough act to follow because it's... I basically call it the Roger Rabbit of video games, because they got all these different franchises from different companies in and utilize them accordingly and in smart ways and appropriately.
They did it good because they weren't central to the plot, but they were there.
They were there, right? Like
like Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, the Badanon villains has Bowser, Dr. Robotnik's there, Smoke and Kano are both there, M. Bison and Zangief are there. Clyde, the orange ghost from Pac-Man, the other ghost not in attendance. But Clyde was there. The Rhino from Altered Beast, and then of course they had some original people they threw in there. House of the Dead, a great rail shooter. That zombie from there. And Satan. Actually, it's Satine. But Wreck-It Ralph, it's got brilliant Easter eggs too, like the graffiti. There's Aerith Lives, All Your Basar Belong to Us, Leroy Jenkins. So, I mean, they threw in as many references as they could. And then, of course, the Sugar Rush game hits you with all the candy and sugar references, which are just as funny.
My favorite part of that movie is when Fix-It Felix Jr. is in jail. And he's like, I'm going to take these bars down. And he hits it with his hammer, and they get thicker.
That's the best part. That's the best part of the movie. That is by far the funniest scene.
I've seen the first one. I still have to see the second.
And the second one's very good. Lots of really funny internet references. I won't give out any spoilers, but I want people to look for this because I noticed a bunch of stuff, and then I heard about more stuff I missed. There's a part where Ralph ends up in a dead zone of the internet with all old technology is basically there. There's a big sign that says dial-up, which made me laugh, but apparently there's also references to GeoCities, chat rooms, and there was one other thing that was pretty funny. And I had a GeoCities page, so...
I had like 10.
Hell, I used to be part of a bulletin board service. Old dial-up internet.
Oh, yeah. Good old dial-up. But Wreck-It Ralph is a great movie. I highly recommend checking it out if you can. I don't know any streaming services it's actually on at the moment. And then when you watch it, go check out the sequel. It's best part about Wreck-It Ralph is not only is it really funny and very clever, very well written, it has really good emotional points too. It hits all the things that you would want it to hit for a video game tie-in movie, especially especially some of the twists and the reveals and some of the just basically how the in-universe there works. Ralph breaks the internet.
All the people that were mean to me shall be executed.
What? No. And Mindy Kaling is the racer too that starts crying. It's got a great voice cast too because John C. Reilly is Wreck-It Ralph, and it pays tribute to Donkey Kong because Ralph and Felix are based on Mario and Donkey Kong and the way their game is set up. And Mario was supposed to be in the first one and the sequel and was written out of both because they just couldn't find a way to incorporate him.
Wow.
So, yeah. And
they probably couldn't find a way it wasn't ham-fisted, probably.
And all the video game characters are voiced by their modern-day voice actors. The Street Fighter characters, except for Zangief, he's voiced by, like, the director. But they got M. Bison's voice actor, Sonic's. They even got the DDR girl, Universe. I mean, they did their homework with it. And Ralph Breaks the Internet, they got YouTube stars to appear as characters in the movie. So, I mean, they actually took that extra mile and did that.
Wait, how'd they get M. Bison? Isn't that dude dead?
Whoever the modern M. Bison voice is.
Oh, modern. Okay.
Yeah.
And voice.
So... yeah, good
I
old
thought
M.
his
Bison.
original voice actor was dead as well. I'm almost sure he is.
I just thought you were thinking about Raul Julia.
Well, I know he's dead. I know
He died
for a
while
fact.
they were making it.
He was one of those actors that I was very past. He was very good at what he did.
We have a pretty simple what if this week. This came from community member Russell Wright, and I'm going to read it exactly as it was submitted. What if David Arquette wasn't made Works champion?
Do you want to know the realist thing?
The realist.
David Arquette wouldn't have been world champion. Pretty much everything else would have stayed the same.
Pretty much.
Yeah, basically.
Because bad booking and mismanagement isn't what made WCW go out of business. It was AOL didn't want to be in the wrestling business.
That was one of the things that made the downfall happen quicker.
But the title was already being hotshot at that point, so the title was already dead.
Yeah.
I mean, did you ever read the stat that it was only in a couple of months it had changed 40 times, and that was equivalent to how many times it had actually changed in the original NWA?
Correct.
I mean, that's ridiculous. And it wasn't even a calendar year. But
then again, you also look at the WWF title and how often that would change, which was like barely ever.
Right.
Hogan held the title at one point for over 1,000 days, or 1,300 days, or some crap.
And no one will ever beat Bruno.
Well, right. I mean, nobody in this day and age is ever going to be allowed to break the 1,000 day mark.
Not a chance. Some people aren't even going to be wrestling that long.
So, I mean, it's just a different time, different place. So the long title reign